Hello everyone, and welcome back. So it's been a bit since I got my last recording in, and I apologize for that. I'm hoping to get some done today so I can be a little bit more regular on my releases. Unfortunately, my work schedule plus my streaming schedule makes things kind of hectic because it's not always the most regular schedule for work. But anyway, hopefully I'm back into this, got the groove going again. But I wanted to point something out before I got started with this episode. I found and corrected an issue with a missing pipe on the furnace exhaust. And I want to give a quick thank you to, I'll probably butcher the name and I apologize for that, but Eric Soloige. That was a commenter on one of my videos that mentioned it to me and saved me. Basically, the way it worked is when I put this pipe volume pump right here, I had disconnected a T-junction that goes, this is the exhaust from our furnace. Okay? I had disconnected that, and then without thinking, I connected this up, got this pipe going, yay, everything's good, I closed it all in so I couldn't see it, and I ran away all skipping and happy. Well, it turns out the pressure was building in this furnace, and had I been using this furnace and this exhaust valve here very much, I would have eventually just blown the pipes. And luckily, he pointed it out, and I found it, and it wasn't quite a half pressure before it was going to blow, but it was close enough that it, phew. So anyway, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Another example of an awesome commenter saving my butt, and I appreciate that very much. So anyway, so I fixed that, and we've got that hooked back up so that now the furnace exhaust just goes right into this thing. And if you look, that tank pressure is 47,000 kPa. I mean, that's 60. Pipes are going to start bursting, so we're going to definitely have to start dealing with that soon. Well, it's a good thing in our last episode we started preparing for our air filtration because that's what's going to help us deal with it. All right, so let's get ourselves set up here. So that's closed in now. I just wanted to kind of point that out and show you guys that I know I don't know, but I'm assuming multiple people noticed that, and just wanted to show you guys that, whew, thanks to a commenter that was kind enough to bring it to my attention, saved a big blow up there. All right, so another thing that has happened since it has been a while since I last streamed. One of the things that has happened is I've gotten the game, sorry, not me, the game patched. And one of the things that patched that I haven't gotten a chance to check out yet was they finally added base-powered beacons. So you don't, like this beacon, I put a battery in it and it just sits here. Well, turns out they finally built one that you can power by your base, so you can just always have it on as long as your base power supports it. So I wanted to try to find that. I haven't even looked at it yet. But man, that's going to be amazing. So let's see if we can find it. There's a kit beacon. That's got to be it. Yes, make me one of those. Thank you very much. Come on, spit it out, spit it out, spit it out. I'm so excited. This beacon has been my number one issue with the game so far. And I haven't run into troubles with it other than sometimes forgetting to turn on my beacon before I leave, and then I wander for a while trying to find my way back. But knowing that if I stay out too long, the battery could die just really bothered me. And then I'd be lost. So let's see here. That's it. That's going to be it. So now we've got to just decide where we want to put this thing. I want to put it obviously inside that, or after a transformer. And I guess it really doesn't even matter as long as it's connected to power. I'm tempted to just put it right here at the bottom of this. Because here's the other thing. Now that we have a base-powered beacon, this thing that I built kind of useless. You know, I built it so you could see the lights from a distance and all that stuff, and it was kind of crazy. Well, now that we have a base-powered beacon, as long as you have your tablet here, then and with the tracker cartridge, you're going to be fine. Now, I suppose the tower could still come in helpful if you happen to wander out and sure enough your battery died. Yeah, okay, that it could be helpful, but for the most part, it seems like that's kind of useless from now on. But you know what? I would much rather this tower be a waste of my resources and time for a little bit for peace of mind, and then have this beacon working than not. So I'm thinking what I might do is actually, because I've since moved this arc furnace, and I think that's what was over here originally. Maybe. Oh no, it was the battery. Since I've moved that, I might just connect this cable up and put the beacon there. So let's do that. So let's. Oh, I'm so excited about this. Let's see what it looks like. All right, spin this. That's the data. Oh, so you could actually connect the beacon. I wonder what sorts of data it has. Interesting. But there it is. There's the beacon. Okay. And then let's have some fun with this. Let's label it. Why don't we call this Home Sweet Home. All right. And we can turn this guy on, which does a couple things. One, yay, we got a beacon. That's always good. But two, now this beacon and this, more importantly, this battery is free. So I'm going to swap to the full nuclear and start that charging again just to do it. But now, if we wanted, we could take this beacon out and you know, put it at a resource node. Like if we found a big thing of, you know, coal, and we knew we were going to need coal, we could throw that beacon with a nuclear battery out there, and at least it's going to last a while in game. You would just have to periodically go out and replace batteries. But with the nuclear, of course, without the nuclear, it's still kind of useless as far as it was before. You know, batteries are going to run out pretty quick. But it could be good for, I'm out here, I'm drilling. Oh, my inventory is completely full, but I know I want to come back really quick. Throw that beacon down with a battery in it and come empty your inventory, and then you're able to run right back to it. So that would definitely be a useful thing for the battery beacon at this point. So let's take a look. I'm so excited. All right, so we put that guy there. Switch hands. Get the cartridge tractor. Switch hands. We're going to switch to Atmos really quick. And zoom out a little bit here so it's easier to see. And there's me and Home Sweet Home. Yay! Look, the beacon works. The beacon works. Woo! This is awesome. Yeah, we don't need this tracking beacon anymore. It's still in the system because it exists, but yeah, now we can get Home Sweet Home. Yeah. All right. I should have labeled that as Kansas. All right. Okay, bad Wizard of Oz reference. Let's put that guy back there, and we are going to probably need to switch that analyzer back at some point, but for now, I'm not too worried about it. Okay, back to the air filtration system. So we started getting this set up, just building the floor out here. And we got it pretty big. I don't know how big I want to make it. And for now, I'll just build it out in the open like it is. Once I have it all built and I think functional, then I might consider, you know, closing in walls and stuff like that. I don't know. We'll see. I might have to build some walls just to mount some stuff as we're going. But let's see. You know what? Did I ever switch? Let me take a quick peek here. This light. Yeah, that has a nuclear battery, it looks like. I kind of wish it was brighter. Oh well. Now that my suit has a nuclear battery, I suppose I could just keep this light on. That helps a little bit. I could also place some lights out here, but right now I don't feel like running cabling and all that stuff just for the lights. All right, so I've got a bunch of pipes set up and ready. I'm ready to expand my solar network at some point, but right now those are up to 3 yellows. So I think I'm doing okay on power. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. But what I need to do, I need to double check and see what I got here. There we go. There's the atmospherics. Okay. We're definitely going to be using those for our filtration. So these are the types of things where they don't stack, unfortunately, because it'll say atmospherics times 1. Well, that doesn't mean that they stack in this case. Usually it would. But I made 6 of them. As I spoke about in a previous episode when I was looking at all these filters, I personally prefer making an air filtration for each one, for all 6. However, you could short circuit it, or I don't know what terminology you prefer, but you could only use 5 and then the leftover works. But again, if you have an issue with a filter, you can run into troubles. So the last time I streamed this game, it was a bit ago because I've been working with a new game on my stream recently. But one of the things that was brought up to me by one of my viewers and a fellow streamer, Pythos, he said he put filters down and did some tests. And let's show these for a second so I can. Let's just put it like here. Okay, so when you place an atmospherics, it's an air conditioner to start, and then you have to scroll your mouse wheel to turn it to filtration. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just place it right here. I don't even know if this is where it's going to stay. But this is what it looks like. Okay, so we've got our power switch. We've got 3 pipe connectors. We've got our power and data. All right. This pipe connector is going to be the output. This is the waste, and this is the input. But there are 2 filter spots here. So let's say we want this to be our oxygen. Okay. So what you would do is you would put if you wanted to get oxygen from whatever gases you have, you put an oxygen filter in here. And what that's going to do is this is the input that will be miscellaneous, like whatever gases you want it to be will go into here. It could be all gases, depending. Like if this was the first filter in your line, maybe all types of gas end up going into this. Because I have the oxygen filter inserted in here, what's going to happen is the output is going to be pure oxygen, and the waste is going to be whatever's left. Okay. It's pretty simple. I don't want to say simple might be the wrong word to use, but it makes sense. Once you look at it, it's like, okay, I put an oxygen filter, so the output will be oxygen because I'm filtering out the oxygen from the rest of it. And this is the output, so what I've filtered out. If you're having trouble remembering that. All right. But anyway, Pythos, a fellow streamer, again on Twitch, brought this to my attention. I had some other, I would say, veteran Stationeers players come in and disagree with this. However, it's not something I've tested, so I felt I owed it to you guys to bring it up and let you decide, do some research online or do some testing of your own to figure it out. And that is this. Okay? According to Pythos, when you have gas coming in here, the speed that this whole thing operates is determined by how many filters are in it. That's what he said. So I don't have, he didn't provide me with numbers, but I had originally thought, and I could be wrong. In fact, likely I am. But I had originally thought, well, why would they have 2 filter slots? Oh, maybe I do this, and now it takes oxygen and nitrogen out of it, but I only use the resources for one thing. But now it's a mix coming out. That was my thought. I would assume that does work that way, but I don't know. But what Pythos said is if you put one oxygen filter, any type of filter, but in this case, an oxygen filter in, the speed that this runs will just be kind of quote unquote normal speed. So we will say that that's just a speed of 1, okay, just for this example. Well, according to Pythos, if you put a second oxygen filter in here, then the whole thing operates at double speed, or a speed of 2. So it's twice as fast filtering out the gases. Now, again, I've had other people that are veterans to the game in my chat during my streams say that they've tested it, and that is not true. However, Pythos is a pretty serious player too, so I would say it's definitely worth looking into if that's something that interests you. I haven't looked into it because I figured maybe I'd throw 2 oxygen filters in there, and if it does double it up, great. If it doesn't, no skin off my back. Those filters are really cheap to make. Okay, so that's my outlook on it. But I wanted to make sure you guys understood it. All right, so this filter, we might just leave it. Who knows? But let's just put it here, and then what we're going to want is we're going to want our input. You know what? Maybe we have our input come on this side, because here's the output of our furnace, as well as our vented cartridges or canisters, that are in this room. So we could start our filtration over here, because it's just closer to this. So you could just run this pipe basically over to the first one over here, and then keep them all going that way. That might be worth looking into. So what I'm going to do to get this kind of prepared, and this is something that when I'm streaming, I don't do, and a lot of people would like me to, and that is keep myself a little more organized. For instance, if you remember in a previous episode, when I was building this room, I literally took, they updated these too. I forgot about that. They look a little bit different. One of the things that they did with these was they made it so that they're data ports, I think, on the inside. You can't really see them the way I have them positioned. But there are data ports now where you can connect up a logic network to read the pressure in the contents of the canisters. Because in the past, you had to take them out and then look at them to see, or just look at the pipe in front of it to know what pressure was in it, because they're going to equalize. But look at that. It's strange, though, because it looks like this is the bottom of the canister here. So it's almost like it comes in here, and there's like a corner. I wonder if it was that way before, and I just didn't notice it until they upped the graphical settings there. Or not settings, but changed the graphics a bit. But anyway, if you remember back to what I was talking about, I keep distracting myself. If you remember when I was doing this room, I just kind of created all the stuff in between episodes and threw it all in here. And there was just a big pile of junk on the floor. And I built a room out of that pile. And it worked fine. But, you're tripping over stuff and kicking stuff around. And that actually bothers quite a bit of people. So on my stream, I tend to do that a lot just because it's funny to see people be bothered by that. But I thought this time maybe I should try a different approach. And that is this. These lockers, where were they? I just had them. I just had a locker. There we go. These lockers are really cheap to make. And, just a big locker. So I figured, why not build a locker, since they're so cheap anyway. I'll just build a locker, and I'll just put it here. Oh, well, let's see. Let's put it against the wall. See, it kind of clips in the wall, or it's slightly out. All right, so we'll open that locker, and then we can just store stuff for the job we're doing in the locker in the room that we're doing the job in. And then we can always change, like empty this out by using all the stuff in it, and then just take the locker down. And use it somewhere else, or leave it there, whatever. I'm going to clear a little bit of inventory here just by throwing that in. And for now, I'll put the other lockers back. I'm just trying to see what else am I going to need. I know I'm going to need these filters, so we'll grab those. And I made one filter for each, of the 6. So I'm not sure if I'm going to make a second of those, but if I do, I'll just do it another time. I know for sure I'm going to need some pipes, but this thing seems to be at least done for now until I use those radiators. So let's throw some pipe over here. I'm going to need a lot of pipe. Like, a lot. Did I mention a lot? Yeah, a lot. So I'm going to bring more over. And yes, it is just literally running right to here. But as you see there, you get caught on this. Like, this door being open can kind of be a hassle. I am going to need both of these tanks, however. So I'll close that. And by both of those, there's 7. But grab some more pipe. Excuse me, a little sneeze there. Okay, so yeah, I will take these 2. Okay, so as you can see, I kind of set that locker up already to be for this, but I just kind of wanted to show how quick it can be to just set up a locker in a room. Again, this isn't something that I typically do, but I know it really helps a lot of people to keep organized. And if people are watching, sometimes it can help their sanity. Which, again, kind of ruins my fun, because I really have fun watching people get all freaked out when I place things in different ways. Or like just pile it up all nasty and everything. They're like, "What are you doing?" And then I'm just giggling, laughing. Like, I'm having a blast. This is fun for me. All right. Take this stuff, carry it over. See, I'm still kind of ping-ponging there. Look, I'm not even going to have enough space, so it might have been worth it to build a second locker here, it seems like. But we'll see. We will see. I wish they would increase the stack sizes. If you're going to allow me to stack 5 of these into a stack, why not allow me to stack 1,000? I mean, it's all compressed down into one little icon anyway, so why put an arbitrary limit on it? You know, because when you complete it, like especially these tanks, when you look how big these are, okay, that is compressed down into one little thing. So why make me max at 5 in a stack then? If you're going to have it compressed down anyway, just compress it down. Like, just let me have as many as I want in a stack. Or maybe make the stack limit something that's a memory type limit, like, 256 or something like that, so that the number makes more sense than just 5. Now, however, me saying that, I'm being very naive. It could very well be that the memory required for one of those tanks, as an example, actually works out to 5 in a stack, makes the memory at a perfect size for whatever storage their data is. Whatever their I can't even remember what you call it. The object. It's like the tank object. It takes up so much memory for one object that possibly a stack of 5 actually works out perfectly. Okay, so I've got that stuff in there. All right, I think we're doing pretty good, but I'm going to go ahead now. Because I decided to start over here, I'm going to tear this guy down. Oh, before I do, let me remove this. Put it there. Now I'll take it down. There we go. Get him away. Now we're going to want some pipe. And, oh, you know what we haven't done? Yep, we haven't. Color. Color. So if you look, and, oh, well, I might as well take some more pipe. Right? I mean, just, if it's here, might as well use it. There's a water filter, an extra one of those that you start with. We're gonna, well, we might actually utilize those valves. All right, where's the one I'm looking for? This is the one I'm looking for. The consumable supplies. They start you out with consumable supplies I believe it's a label. Is it the labeler and the beacon that are here in those empty slots? But they start you out with spray paint. So there's red, white, blue, green, and yellow. There's multiple other colors you can make, but to make them you need a tool manufactory. Okay, so we have our auto lathe, our electronic printer, our pipe bender, our fabricator, which is awesome. So let's go ahead and make really quick, and I shouldn't say really quick because it's going to take a while, the tool manufactory. And the reason I want to do that is because I want, there it is right there. I want to be able to create more tools, like some more belts for, well, actually, let me look at this. Do you need this? Let me see. Let me make sure I'm doing this properly. You might be able to make paint in the fabricator, but I want to say you couldn't. I tried it once. No, because it would be spray paint, I think, with an S. Yeah, I think it starts, like it'd be kit spray paint or something like that. They don't have it. So you do need the tool manufactory, it looks like, to be able to make paints. And it's pretty simple to make. Look at it. It just takes iron and copper. It's about to be done already. We just need to decide where we want to put it. And again, all this is kind of temporary until I get more of a base done. But you know, power, again, battery power or solar power was the most important thing to get going. And the second is being able to grab like oxide in case you needed to breathe that, but also get your furnace going to make the more complex alloys. All right, so tool manufactory. There's about how big it is. All right, I'm trying to think of where. Maybe I just put it here. That might be a bad idea, just because of the dirt here. And we already talked about the bugs sometimes when stuff falls into the dirt. I could mine that away, or I could just put this somewhere else. Maybe I should mine it away. Let's do that. So we will switch belts. So a lot of prep going in. I haven't even started working on what I was going to work on, like the air filtration. I've just kind of been getting cleaned up and organized in preparation for that. So that's one of the things that, depending on the style of player you are, you may or may not want to do this and kind of get things cleaned up and ready. You may be the type of player that just, function over form, just get the darn thing working, and don't worry about what it looks like or anything like that. And that's actually the type of player I usually am. For these, I'm trying to, not only am I kind of experimenting with some new stuff and just checking new stuff out, but I'm also experimenting with the organization of doing it this way. So we want steel sheets. We also want some steel frames if we can get them. So let's put this guy. Well, we kind of need access to that. I'm almost wondering if it would be better to try to place it. Oh, I guess I can't place it here. Oh, maybe I can. Oh, only backwards though. Oh, right there. But there's no place for it to export. The other thing you can do is stack them like this. So I could stack this right on top of the printer, or on top of this thing. That's definitely a way to save space. But it does mean that you have to have cords up in the air and everything, which I know a lot of people don't like. Oh, you know what? I could do it here. All right, since we freed up a little bit of space with the battery, I could actually just put it right there. Let's do that. There we go. So yeah, I still have to come over here to put stuff in it, like ore and stuff like that. But yeah, that saves me from having to create a new frame and stuff, which is what I was going to do right there. So let's grab our wire cutters and cut that beacon for now. And we want straight there, and we want... Well, I'm really excited for the day that they change how you do alignments and stuff like that. I've been playing this game, Empyrean Galactic Survival, a lot. It's kind of taken over my life. And it's a great game, a lot of fun. Similar to this game in the survival aspect of it, but but much different when it comes to like this game's a lot more scientific and physics based, more logical based. There's a lot more technical stuff to learn and do, and the gases and stuff like that. So they kind of, while they fill the space survival niche, they're different enough that they're both worth checking out. Anyway, been playing that, and one of the things that has that I hope these guys will adopt is when you're placing something, the axis of rotation, they actually display a line showing you, so you know when you click the rotate button which way it's going to rotate. It makes it a little bit simpler to control, although it's not a big thing. All right, let's see. I might not have enough iron to do this. We'll see here. I couldn't remember what the spray paint takes. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I have just enough to make one. So I'm going to make black be my waste color or my overall just color. Like, what am I trying to say here? Wow, get it together, Dycart. My all gases pipe. Like the input for the main filtration will be black. So really I should make this pipe all black. But what I wanted to do quickly before I even start setting up here is demonstrate how this works, because it's really quite handy. I have this spray paint. Every time I spray it, I lose a percentage. It's at 100%. So it's very limited on how much you can spray it. And I don't know if this is something that they're going to change in the game later, or if it's just, this is the way it works and that's perfectly acceptable. But oops, let's grab this and split one off. Okay. And then we can set this guy back down. All right. So I have a single pipe here and 19 pipes there. I pick up the spray paint and I paint that pipe black. And that used 5% of that spray paint can. So if I have existing pipe like this, every single section I want to paint is going to take 5%. So I'm going to paint 20 sections of pipe and need a new spray paint can. Okay? So here's a little trick. I took one section out. I pick it up. So I know, like I can drop it again just so to make sure. All right. So I know it's black. This is not colored. Or I guess it wouldn't matter if it was colored, but this is not black. If I pick it up and it combines with the stack of black I have, which is only one, now the whole stack is black, and it did not cost me any extra spray paint. So it's a quick, simple way to keep that going without having to make a bunch of spray paint. Now, again, spray paint's super cheap. We saw that. But it does make it so that if you can determine what color you want your piping to be before you start laying the pipe, it's much easier because you can paint the whole stack and then lay pipe out rather than having to come back through and spray each individual section. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to point that out. So what I tend to do is this. I'll split another single off. So this will be my pipe that I'm going to start using. But I have a single now that's black. So I'm going to put that there. And now I have a single black pipe. I'm going to grab this before it rolls off. And I'm just keeping that there so that I have black pipe available to recolor other pipes instead of having to use the spray trick again. Doesn't really matter, but just something that makes sense to me. So I will basically color different piles. And that black pipe, I can pick it up, or this black pipe, I could pick this up or put it on the ground, grab another pipe, spray paint it pink or whatever color I wanted, pick it up, and then pick the black up and combine it. And as long as what was in my hand first has a color on it, then this color is going to combine with it. So I could turn my black pipes into pink or whatever. So you're not stuck with it. You can change the colors all you want. And they have yellow spray paint, so you could paint, you can color it right back to the default yellow if you so chose. All right. Sorry, big explanation, super long-winded. I'm now, well, not quite now. I'm getting ready to start laying pipe and start connecting the air filtration system. Which can be kind of a long process because you start laying it out and then you go, oh, this isn't the layout I wanted. Oh, yeah, this will work. And but I kind of want to take you through that process And hopefully some people will find some errors that I make, as they have been so far, and it's been awesome. I appreciate the input on that. But also maybe people will see me going through the general mindset of how this works, and maybe it'll help them when they're going through it, because I don't have this down. This isn't something I've done a lot. I've only done it like twice. But so maybe seeing me go through it and struggle with certain areas and solving those struggles might help someone else in the future. However, I know I spent a lot of talking, and all we really did was reorganize this. So we didn't get a ton done this episode, but I wanted to see the new beacon, and then now we know how to make spray paint. And now you've seen a way to paint the piping and possibly get a locker closer so it stays organized, yet you can find what you need really quick. So yes, I'm sorry that we didn't get a whole lot done. I just want to kind of explain the filtration system and stuff before we start setting it up. But we have run out of time for this episode. So not super eventful, but hopefully informational. That was my goal. But in our next episode, we will go ahead and actually start laying the pipe and building the filtration system. And I will be doing it from scratch, meaning I will not have it planned out first ahead of time so that everything fits properly. We may have to do some rearranging. In fact, we probably will quite often. But I think that process might be something that's worth seeing, at least in my opinion, when I'm watching a Let's Play, especially if I'm watching it to kind of learn some ideas about a game and different ways to do things. When I see someone who's a really good content provider start setting stuff up and then say, okay, I'll come back later, and then they all of a sudden, boom, it's done. Here you go. I finished. They're saving the time, and I appreciate that. There are a lot of people that don't want to see all the building process and the mistakes being made over and over. However, I kind of wanted this to be something where I don't make those cuts, because I want people to see that process a little bit more so that it's more familiar when they have to do it themselves. So anyway, I continued talking even though I said we were out of time. But it has been a while. I'm really glad to be back recording. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. A special thank you again sorry if I mispronounce it, but Eric Solowish for his awesome comment catching the pipe issue I had in a previous episode. That saved us some trouble, and I really appreciate that. And there has been other comments made, like, oh, I saw a mistake that you made, and I'm waiting for you to understand it. Who knows? It may have been that very thing right there. It may be that I made a mistake somewhere else, and then something's going to go boom. Who knows? We'll find out, and we'll all learn together, and that's part of the fun. So again, thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you will join me for my next episode. Take care, everyone.